All right, let's just dive straight in. Today, we're doing a complete concept teardown of gross domestic product at factor cost, or as we'll call it, GDPfc. We are going to strip away all the macroeconomic noise and give you a crystal clear understanding of this metric, and we're going to do it in record time.
So, think about this for a second. What is a product actually worth before it even hits the store shelf? You know, we're all totally conditioned to look at a retail price tag and just accept it as the absolute value. It's something we can call the retail illusion. But here's the thing. That final price, it is heavily manipulated by outside forces. So how do we bypass that illusion to find the true underlying cost of creating something?
Well, the answer lies in GDPfc, which is often referred to as the factory floor value. Basically, if you strip away all that government influence, the taxes that make things way more expensive and the subsidies that make things a bit cheaper, you find the pure base cost of production. If we're being formal about it, it's defined as the sum total of factor earnings received within a country's domestic territory in a given year. Oh, and because it is a gross metric, it intrinsically includes depreciation. That's just the natural wear and tear on the equipment used to make those goods.
Okay, so what exactly makes up these factor earnings? There are 4 core components that a factory actually pays out to produce its goods. First up, wages for labor. Second, interest paid on any borrowed capital to run the business. Third, rent for the physical space or the land. And finally, profits returning to the entrepreneur for actually putting this whole shebang together. So GDPfc is really just the sum total of these 4 foundational payments: wages, interest, rent, and profits.
Now, let's look at the huge disconnect between that factory floor value and the final market price. Take a real-world example like rice. Imagine the true resource factor cost, so the wages, rent, interest, and profit required to produce just 1 kilogram of rice adds up to exactly 50 rupees. But then, the government steps in with a 5 rupee subsidy to make sure people can afford it. Suddenly, the final open market price drops down to 45 rupees. This proves something absolutely vital. Factor cost can actually structurally exceed the market price in subsidized sectors. It just goes to show how the market price actively masks the true cost of production.
So, how do we translate between the two? Economists use one absolutely crucial formula, and you'll definitely want to mentally screenshot this one. Gross domestic product at factor cost equals gross domestic product at market price minus net indirect taxes. Think about it. Market prices naturally include indirect taxes, which artificially inflate the final cost, right? And they're also impacted by subsidies, which artificially lower it. By subtracting net indirect taxes, which is literally just indirect taxes minus those subsidies, we're basically reverse engineering the math. We strip away the government's influence entirely to get right back to the original pure earnings of the factors of production on that factory floor.
Which brings us to our final takeaway for this explainer. How does government intervention mask the true cost of the things we buy every single day? Look, every time you scan an item at the checkout counter, you are paying a market price. But lurking right beneath that price tag lies the unseen economic reality of GDPfc, the wages, rent, interest, and profit that truly made that item possible, which have been either inflated by hidden taxes or completely shielded by unseen subsidies. It definitely makes you look at your next shopping receipt a whole lot differently, doesn't it?